There are states you experience regularly, clearly, sharply, sometimes enough to give you chills. You know that something is happening inside you, but explaining it is impossible. Even to yourself, you simply carry it like something nameless, like a weight with no address. And here's what changes everything. Psychologists have proven, if you don't have a word for an emotion, your brain cannot fully process it. You cannot heal what you cannot name. Today I'm going to give you names for things you've felt your entire life, but could never put into words. Let's begin. Picture this: an ordinary Tuesday. You're stuck in traffic. You glance out the window and see a man in the car next to you. He's just tapping his fingers on the steering wheel to some song, completely inside his own world. And suddenly, for just a fraction of a second, something strange washes over you. You realize this person has an entire life, a childhood, fears, some argument he's been replaying in his head for 3 days, a favorite song, people he loves, an entire universe, inside the body of a stranger behind glass. And you'll drive away, and you will never know a single thing about any of it. That feeling has a name: Sonder. The moment when you truly, physically feel that every single person around you is living a life just as full, just as complex, just as real as yours. It sounds obvious when you say it out loud, but actually feeling it, that's something else entirely. Your brain tries to process every face in the crowd as a whole person, and it essentially gives up. The scale is too much. Sonder tends to hit in airports, train stations, busy streets. And it's not good or bad, it's just enormous. Now tell me, have you ever wanted to go back somewhere? To a time when everything was different? Not just a place, but a version of your life that no longer exists? This isn't ordinary nostalgia. It's something deeper. In Welsh, it's called Hiraeth, a longing for a home you can't return to, or perhaps a home that never quite existed the way you remember it. You can go back to the same city, walk the same street, but what you're actually looking for isn't there anymore. People feel it for their childhood neighborhood after it changed, for the first weeks of a relationship, for a summer that felt like it would never end. There's grief in it, even when technically nothing bad happened. Things simply became different, and somewhere in that gap, between what was and what is, Hiraeth lives. Stop. Here's a fact that changes everything. Psychologists say that most people experience between 5 and 7 deep emotional states throughout their lives for which their language simply has no word. And because there's no word, there's no way to ask for help, no way to even understand what's happening to you. You just think, something is wrong with me. But no, nothing is wrong with you. You simply were never given the vocabulary. Next, and this is probably the most recognizable thing on this entire list. You met someone, maybe 2 weeks ago. Maybe you've had 2 real conversations, but your brain has already played out hundreds of scenarios with this person. You check your phone more than you want to admit. When they text, there's a brief rush of adrenaline that makes no logical sense given how little you actually know each other. A fast reply means something. A slow one means something else. You analyze every small detail. A psychologist named Dorothy Tenoff studied this in the 1970s and gave it a name: Limerence. And here's what sets it apart from simple attraction. It's involuntary. You're not deciding to think about this person. Your brain just does it over and over again, until it gets an answer. Because limerence isn't about the person, it's about uncertainty. Your brain is searching for one specific thing: reciprocity. And the moment that uncertainty disappears, in either direction, the feeling fades remarkably quickly, which says a lot about what it actually was. Now, something that might feel unsettling, in the best possible way. Have you ever walked into a school during summer break, or an office on a Sunday evening? The chairs are in their places, the lights are on, mugs are still on the desks, but there are no people. And there's something in that, something hard to explain. Not just empty, different, as if you can feel the absence itself. This is Kenopsia, the eerie feeling of a place that was built for people, but the people have gone. If you'd never known this place was ever full, it would just be a room. But you know, and that emptiness has texture. The same feeling comes when you stumble across an old social media profile of someone who's no longer alive. The structure is still there, the person isn't, and that gap creates something genuinely strange. Now, one of the most pleasant states on this list. Rain is hitting the window. You're inside, warm, nowhere to be, and suddenly, you feel something like permission. Permission to simply exist, to decide nothing, to stop being productive. The outside world with all its demands has become physically unreachable. And there is incredible relief in that. This is Chrysalism, named after the chrysalis, the cocoon of a butterfly that protected space between who you were and who you're becoming. What makes this feeling so special is the contrast. The noise of the storm outside is actually part of why it feels so good inside. Your brain registers the difference and relaxes. That's why some people crack a window just to hear the rain better, not to let the cold in, but to deepen the feeling of safety. There's one more state, and it's probably the most painful one of all. You're experiencing something special right now. Maybe it's a vacation with people you love. Maybe it's the last evening before a big change in your life. Maybe it's just a perfect ordinary day. Sunshine, coffee, nowhere to rush. And then, right in the middle of that moment, sadness hits you. Not after, during. You're still here, and you're already grieving. Your brain realizes this won't last forever, and instead of simply being present, it starts mourning in advance. This is called anticipatory nostalgia, or Nowstalgia. Nostalgia for a moment that hasn't even ended yet. And here's the paradox, and this changes everything. This feeling only appears when a moment is truly valuable. Your brain doesn't waste energy grieving something it doesn't care about, which means nostalgia is actually your subconscious confirmation. This matters. This is real. I love this. The only problem is that instead of enjoying it, you start fearing the loss, and the moment slips away precisely because you were trying so hard to hold on to it. Psychologists say the only way through is to allow yourself to feel both states at once, joy and the anticipation of loss. They don't contradict each other. Together, they are fully living the moment. And finally, something the internet has made sharper than ever before. You will live one life, one timeline, one body, one sequence of days. Every choice you make is also a choice not to make 100 others. Every city you live in is a city you chose over dozens you didn't. Every path you take closes off paths you won't take. This is Anism, the quiet frustration of being stuck in just one life. And social media has made it more unbearable than ever. You have never had such easy access to proof of all the lives you are not living. Every corner of human experience, one click away, which is extraordinary, and which is sometimes just too much to sit with. Here's the thing. Sonder, Hiraeth, Limerence, Kenopsia, Chrysalism, Nowstalgia, Anism. None of these are weakness. None of them are pathology. They are proof that you are living fully, that you are attentive enough to notice the depth of things most people never stop to consider. Having a word for an emotion is power over your own inner world. And now, this vocabulary belongs to you. Which of these emotions resonates with you most? Write it in the comments. One word or an entire story. Because I'm certain someone reading those comments today will feel, maybe for the first time, that they are not alone in this. And if you want more people to have this vocabulary for their feelings, a like helps the algorithm show this video further. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. It will change the way you see your own decisions.